If you run a clinic, you have probably felt this. Somewhere along June and July, the phones get quieter, fewer form fills come in, less consultations, and even less people starting treatment. And that little voice in the back of your head says, is something broken? Is my marketing not working? Or am I just losing my touch? Here's the thing, a summer slowdown could mean 5 completely different things, but the mistake that clinic owners make is that they try to change everything at once, from their ads to maybe a new agency or rebuilding their website, without actually diagnosing what is going on first. So today I'm going to walk you through 5 of the most common reasons why you experience a summer slowdown, and you can figure out which one is applicable to you. Because a fix for seasonality is completely different than a fix for a broken intake process. And if you treat the wrong problem, you'll waste a lot of time and money trying to fix something that isn't actually broken. So let's dive into this. Before we get into the 5 causes, I want to explain why diagnosis matters so much. Well, when inquiries drop, the instinct is to assume the worst. But let's say if it's just seasonality, then you spend a lot of time and money trying to fix it for a problem that could have corrected itself in September. On the flip side, if you have a broken intake process, well, no amount of ad spend is going to fix that. So here are the 5 usual suspects, and we'll go through them one by one. The first and most common is just simple seasonality. Healthcare has predictable seasonal rhythms. Kids are out of school, people are on vacation, families are traveling, and essentially routines are starting to fall apart. And for a lot of elective or specialized treatments, people just push their decisions into September when things start to become routine again. And the data actually backs this up. Outpatient volumes actually dip in the summer and bounce back in the fall time. Plus, many clinics also run with fewer clinicians in the clinic itself because of vacations. So it's a slowdown on both the supply and the demand side. So how do you actually know if it's seasonality? Well, here's the test. Look back at your data from last year and the year before that. If you see a dip in the summertime, it's nothing to do with you, it's just your calendar. This is why we always try to track year over year numbers for our clients, because if it's just a seasonality thing and this happens every single year, there's nothing to panic about because you can plan for it ahead of time. The best thing you can do if this is the case is to prepare for fall. Make sure your schedules are aligned. Make sure your marketing is in line with what's going to happen in fall. Make sure you have your internal processes optimized to take in that fall surge. So look, if you've done this year over year comparison and you find that summer is just slower, well, don't worry about anything. But then we have a reduced search demand, which is one of the contributing factors of why your clinic slows down in the summertime. And this is related to seasonality, but it's a little bit more specific. For a lot of conditions, the number of people searching for help in the summer drops significantly. Think about it. If someone is struggling with focus or anxiety, they might not feel the urgency in July when they are relaxed at a beach or somewhere on vacation. But come September, when they go back to school, everything becomes routine and they're starting to feel the pressure of life again. That's when they'll actually start searching. So it could be nothing to do with your marketing or your operational processes, but everything to do with what the market is looking for right now. So how do you diagnose this? Well, you want to look at your website traffic and your impressions. Let's say you are receiving less inquiries coming in through your website, but the percentage of people who inquire and move forward into treatment is pretty much steady. Well, you know that the problem is upstream, meaning that the number of inquiries has dropped, but not the number of people who actually convert from those inquiries. And that's a demand problem, not a marketing quality problem. It essentially means that the number of people that are entering your funnel are just less. So here, you don't really have to do anything. If you wanted to take action, you can try to position your services in a more summer-friendly manner and see if you can decrease the time commitment required to this. Because like I said, people are traveling, they don't have a routine. So you want to give them something that they can fit into their already chaotic schedule. The third cause is a genuine drop in ad performance. And most people misdiagnose it constantly. Sometimes your ads are actually underperforming. And this could be because someone new entered the market and they're taking up some bidding space. Maybe your creatives have gone stale, or maybe your messaging isn't landing anymore, which has decreased your click-through rates. And this is how you tell the difference between weak ad performance and just low demand. If you look at your cost per click and your click-through rate, if you see that your cost per click is starting to go up and your click-through rate is starting to go down, that means that people just aren't interested in your ads anymore because the messaging isn't there, or like I said, the creative's not good, or someone entered in the bidding. And that's different from seasonality because you have not captured what the season is actually requiring from you through your messaging or any of your marketing efforts. So what you want to do here is come up with summer angles for your services. For example, if you are running an ADHD campaign, you want to make sure that people are understanding that, hey, when they go back to work or back to school, that they want their ADHD fixed in the summer so that their performance during the fall can be a lot higher. Essentially, what you want to do is find these marketing angles where you can still get in patients, but your messaging changes based on what they're going through in the summertime. Now we get into the causes that have nothing to do with your marketing at all, but they hurt the most because they are something that you can control. Poor follow-up is something that I see across clinics regardless of seasonality. But in summer, you are probably short-staffed. And because of that, new inquiries that come in, you're probably calling them within a day or 2 days, not within 5 minutes when the leads are most interested. So maybe your inquiry numbers are just fine, but the number of people book a consultation has dropped significantly because your follow-up process is not there. So how do you diagnose this? Track 2 things: number of inquiries that are coming in and number of consultations you're getting from those inquiries. If your inquiry count is the same, but your booking rate has dropped, it's nothing to do with your marketing efforts. It's everything to do with your follow-up and your response time. And the data on this is brutal. Best practices say that you should call people within the first 5 minutes because that's the window of the highest conversion rates. But the sad reality is that clinics measure their follow-up time in hours and sometimes days. And I know summer staffing makes this even worse, but there are some things that you can do, such as implement a CRM system or some sort of an automation tool that allows you to text people right away with a booking link or email them with a booking link. Essentially, do whatever you can to automate the process from inquiry to booked consultation. And the fifth and final cause is a problem in your intake process altogether. Let's say inquiries stay steady, booked consultations are steady, but nobody is moving forward into treatment. And this could be because your booking system is too clunky, or maybe the staff isn't trained well enough on helping people move forward in terms of making a decision, so people just leave thinking about it. You want to make sure that your staff understands that this is a sales process. They can have the personality, they can be jolly, they can be nurturing, they can be informative, but at the end of the day, their job is to move someone from a consultation to starting treatment. Most of the time, the consultation experience can literally make or break a clinic, and I've seen this more times than not. And this is the hardest one to see because you're essentially getting people to the goal line, but nobody is crossing it. And this has a lot to do with training and really making sure that your staff understands what that process looks like and what the goal of that consultation is. So maybe you have to sit with your staff on some of these calls to understand how they're approaching these calls and how they're ending these calls as well. Because once you fix that, a lot of things become easy for you. Okay, so let me put all this together in a simple diagnostic that you can run yourself. We'll start from the top of the funnel and we'll work our way down. First, is your traffic and impressions down? If yes, it's likely seasonality or reduced demand. Check your year-over-year data to confirm. Second, is your traffic steady but clicks are down and costs are up? That's an ad performance issue. Third, are inquiries steady but bookings down? That's a follow-up or response time problem. Fourth, are bookings happening but people are no-showing or not converting after the consult? That's an intake process problem. See how each of these symptoms points to a different cause? Well, that's the whole point. You can't fix something unless you know where it is in the funnel that needs to be fixing. Most clinic owners just look at one number, the number of inquiries, which I totally get. But the number that matters is where the drop is actually happening relative to everything else. The pattern tells you the cause and the cause tells you the fix. If you want help diagnosing where your slowdown is coming from and you want to build out revenue systems so you're ready for the fall, well, book a call with me. We'll look at the funnel, we'll find the leaks and create a plan that will help you fix those things when it's busy season. Links in the description. Thank you for watching and I'll see you on the next one.